Hey there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kimberly Michelle, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my piercing infection. Ew. Alright, so for my birthday I decided I wanted curated ears. So I was going to start the process curating my ears. The first piercings were going to be my conch, my tragus, and an upper helix. Those were my first three that I was going to start with, and then I was going to move on to the second ear and get some piercings there. So I go to my piercer after I researched forever on Instagram. I felt so connected to this piercer that I drove 50 minutes from my house to go to this particular piercer because I just felt like she was the one for me. Alright, so I get the piercings and everything's fine. They look gorgeous. I got my conch, I got my tragus, I got my upper helix. Everything is good. So she gives me my instructions and she tells me what to do. I buy my Neomed spray so that I could do my aftercare. She gives me my aftercare and she tells me to do all the things that all the piercers tell you to do. Clean it twice a day. When you're in the shower, rinse it off. If you're gonna dry it with a paper towel, all the stuff. So I am doing my aftercare and I'm cleaning it and everything's going fine. So I noticed that my helix starts to, it swells up. My helix swells up, and then after a few days, the swelling went down. So I'm not alarmed because I'm like, okay, they said that would happen. It would swell, and then the swelling will go down, it'll go away. Then I noticed that my tragus was swelling, and days went on, and it just was not going away. And not only that, my conch, it was throbbing. It was hurting so bad that I could literally feel it throbbing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, something's not right. So by now, my whole ear is swollen. This had to be maybe a couple weeks in, maybe a couple weeks after I got the piercings. So my whole ear is swollen. It's almost starting to look like, I don't know if they call it cabbaging, or it's a term for it. I'll insert a picture of what I'm talking about, and I'll also insert a picture of my ear. Now from my actual photos, you can't really tell that much how bad it was, but it wasn't good and it was hurting like crazy. So I did not want to accept the fact that I might have an infection. I'm like, there's no way I have an infection because I've been cleaning this thing really well and taking care of it really well. So why would I have an infection? So I talked to my piercer. She's like, it might be infected. You might want to see a doctor. Now, mind you, a few days before I talked to my piercer, I was in the ER on an unrelated issue. I don't even remember what it was, but it was I don't know, something, I don't know what it was. I can't even remember. I'm always going to the ER for something. But I had the ER doctor look at it because I told her how it was hurting. And granted, she didn't really do a full examination, but she was like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking if it was infected, she would have said, ooh, that looks like an infection. But she never said that. She was just like, okay. But I wasn't there for my ears, so why would she examine them? So I'm like, okay, if there was an infection, the ER doctor would have said something about an infection. And, oh, it was my tooth. Yes, I was there because my tooth was hurting really bad. And I had to get some pain meds before I could get to the dentist. And so they gave me pain meds, but they gave me antibiotics as well. So also I'm thinking, well, they gave me antibiotics at the ER, so if it was an infection, that would have taken care of it, right? Because I have antibiotics, and it was just getting worse and worse. It was hurting so bad. Then I started thinking, oh, I must have an allergic reaction to the jewelry or something. So I'm thinking she put stainless steel in my ear. This is how naive I was. I didn't even know what jewelry was in my ear. She's like, no, I only use titanium. I don't use stainless steel. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's very rare that someone will have an allergic reaction to titanium. But in my head, I'm thinking that it has to be the jewelry because, okay, this is the other thing I forgot to mention. My helix was pierced with solid gold, and it was doing fine. Nothing was wrong with my helix. The only two that were hurting was my conch and my tragus, and those two were pierced with titanium. So I'm thinking it has to be the jewelry. So fast forward, taking the antibiotics, ear is still hurting, and then I decided to go in to see my piercer. I'm going everywhere but the doctor. So I get to her and she's like, okay, I think this is infected. You need to go see a doctor. So I'm like, damn it, okay, I'll go see a doctor. So she's asking me all these questions. First of all, like, have you been cleaning it? Have you been sleeping with animals? Girl, no. First of all, I'm not sleeping with no animals. And second of all, she meant like your dog and stuff in the bed. And I'm like, I've been cleaning it with the Neomed, just like you said. After I left her, I go straight to urgent care. And of course, the first thing he tells me to do is take them out. You got to take it out. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking them out. We just fix it. Just fix me up. I'm not taking them out. So he takes a swab test to see, if it's infected. I got to wait 3 days to get the results back. So meanwhile, he prescribes me this cream. And he tells me to get the cream and rub it on there. And then he'll see what the deal is with the infection. So 3 days go by. Oh, by the way, I didn't go get the cream because I'm like, I don't know. I just don't listen to people. I didn't go get the cream at all. I just suffered through. And again, I'm still in denial that I even have an infection. It must be the jewelry. I'm allergic to the jewelry. Okay, by this time, my ears are hurting so bad, I cannot take it. So I have to take the jewelry out. So I took the jewelry out. I can't remember if I took the tragus and the conch out, but I definitely had to get the conch out. It was throbbing and hurting so bad. I just could not take it anymore. So, and I know they say don't take the jewelry out because it might close up and the infection will get in there, but I'm like, I got to get rid of this pain. So finally I get my results back from urgent care. It's an infection, and he gives me the antibiotic I need. I find out that all antibiotics are not created equal. So the antibiotic I had for my tooth, it would have never done anything for the infection I had in my ear. I had to get a different type of antibiotic for my ear. So he prescribes me that. I go and get that filled. And then I followed up with an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Because now I have a bump, a huge bump on the tragus. I have a slight bump on the conch, have a huge bump on the tragus, and my ear is still looking deformed and killing me. So I go into the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and of course, they want to fuss you out as though like you need to be scolded because how dare you go get these piercings in your ears, in your cartilage area. This is a no-no. You shouldn't be doing this. So, I hear all of that. And they ended up having to lance, is that what they call it? Lance my ear, cut it, and squeeze out the stuff and get it out of there. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I was literally crying in the chair because I wanted these piercings so bad, and I thought they were so cute, and I got them, and they were a gift for my birthday. Like, my sister gave me the money to get them for my birthday, and now I had to take them out, and I was just pissed. I was really upset. So, the doctor, she lanced the tragus. She didn't have to lance the conch. She just gave me some cream, that same cream the other doctor prescribed me. This time I went and filled it. Something about those urgent care doctors, I just don't trust them. I don't know. Why did I even go there? So anyway, so I went and got the cream. I was putting it on my conch. She cut and lanced and drained out the tragus, and I had to walk around for days with like some gauze stuck in my tragus, in my ear. My ear was split open and the gauze was stuck in there. And so I went back a few days later for them to change the gauze and get that out and everything. And long story short, my ear was feeling better. After I started taking the antibiotics, my ear started feeling better. However, I didn't have my piercings anymore. So between the 3 days where after she lanced my tragus and when I was supposed to go back to get my my gauze changed, between those 3 days, I put my conch earring back in because I'm like, I gotta save something. Now the tragus, that's gone. I can't put an earring in there because it's literally split wide open. But my conch was still intact. The bump had went down by now, and I was like, let me just see if I can get the earring back in there. So I was able to get the earring back in my conch. So by the time I go back to the doctor, she's looking at me like, I know damn well you ain't put the earring back in this piercing. And I'm like, and did. Yep, yes, I did. And I was like, I had to save one of them at least. I couldn't just let it go. So she just shook her head, but you know, whatever. But all of that to say, my conch is now doing fine. I was able to save my conch, and I even have a hoop in there now. I took the labret out, but I was able to save my conch piercing. But my tragus, I was not able to save the tragus. That was just gone. I had to let that heal. It took a little while for that to heal up and the scar tissue and all that to go away. I ended up getting my tragus pierced over here. So I did eventually get a tragus piercing. So I got my tragus pierced over here. But this one, I just let it go. Now, I think it has healed enough where I could go back and get it pierced by now, because that was a while ago. But I'm probably not going to do it. I have a tragus over here, and I think I'm good with that. So that is the story of when my piercing got infected. Oh, and how it got infected is, I think I was cleaning it too much. Even though I was cleaning it only twice a day, but I think I was irritating it too much, or maybe I wasn't drying it off good enough, and maybe it was still wet and bacteria was in there. I don't know. But I really, really think it was my shower water. I don't know why I think that, but I think that because I have hard water and I don't even drink the water at my house. So I don't know, just something about that water. I'm thinking maybe it was my shower water that, you know, that's why it got infected. But my helix didn't get infected. It was so weird because the helix did not get infected, but the other two piercings did get infected. So when that happened, I said when I get my next piercings, I'm not cleaning them. I'm doing the litha method. So the litha method, the leave it the hell alone method, I was like, I'm gonna do that, and because I'm not going through this again. So when I got my date and all my piercings over here, I got a tragus, a date, and a flat. I didn't clean those. I mean, if I saw some crust or something on them, yeah, I went in there and got that off. But all that every two times a day with the Neomet spray, I did not do it. I basically just left them alone, and they healed fine, and I didn't clean them. I only cleaned them when I saw gook on them. And I remember when I went back to my piercer to change out some jewelry after I got these, she's like, "You're going to have to clean these." And I guess maybe it was some gook up in there or something. And I was thinking to myself, no, I'm not going to clean them. I'm just going to let them sit there. But I felt like I was cleaning them enough to not be dirty. I just wasn't cleaning them twice a day. But apparently at my date, I guess she saw some stuff in my date that needed a little more cleaning out. So anyway, yes, that is the story of my piercing infection. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any horror stories about an infection or piercing infection that you had, put it in the comments below so I can hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.